So this video, today we're going to be talking about, it has been 1 year since we've lived in Orlando. Which is why we're wearing our shirts that we wear to move. I am a big Friends fan, and
well,
so...
we both are. You are more, but
I got you into it more.
Yeah.
And I found these shirts on, I think, Amazon.
Yeah.
And they say pivot with the couch. And I thought that's a perfect shirt for us to wear when we move. And I got it actually when we did our first move. So, this was our third move. And our first move was in March of 2017, and we moved to Washington State.
In Seattle.
We moved there so Adam could go to school for video game programming. And it actually turned out to be way more expensive than we were anticipating. And we couldn't afford to stay there, him go to school, and then plan our wedding.
Yeah.
Because we had just gotten engaged before we moved.
Right, and then eventually, start a family and go through, life. It didn't work out.
So we did love Washington. Like, Washington was beautiful.
The nature, the trees.
We actually have your best friend and his fiance live in Oregon, and we were able to visit a few times there, and we actually fell in love with Oregon more than we did with Washington. So it was really beautiful, but it was just like too expensive for us to do there, and we weren't really we didn't really know what we wanted to do at the time, but we knew we didn't want to stay there. So we ended up moving to Phoenix, Arizona, because that was where
the first school was up in Seattle. Then my second backup school was in Phoenix.
And so we moved there, and then we lived there for about 3 years.
Yep.
And then we ended up getting married and had our wedding in Las Vegas.
Because our family and stuff is there, and it was just easier to have everyone fly to Vegas versus have everyone fly into there and then drive to
that. And we also knew Vegas more than Phoenix
because we grew up there, so it was easier to plan and know where stuff is.
Yeah. And so we ended up having our wedding at Chapel of the Flowers, and then our reception at a place called Prestige. And then we had our honeymoon at Disney World. And when we started planning our honeymoon, we started watching a YouTuber for
tips and tricks, and then what hotel we were going to stay at, and get the lay of the land, and then because neither of us have been to Disney World, so I knew that it was 4 parks, but that was the extent of my knowledge. So we wanted to watch okay, well, what's this park? What's that park?
Especially
what's in here?
Because we both had never been there.
Right. So then as we were watching this other YouTuber, they do more Orlando stuff. They go around and do more of the museums and the beaches and whatever may have you.
At the time we were already talking about moving, we knew that we didn't want to stay in Phoenix.
Because Phoenix itself kind of sucked because...
Well, for us. Yeah. There are other people that live there.
Yeah, that do actually like it. It wasn't for us. It wasn't
for something for us.
Yeah.
And so...
It was just so hot and dry.
To us, it was a lot of the same as Las Vegas. There was some differences, but we knew we didn't want to stay in the desert anymore. And so we actually talked about a few places, and one of them was Chicago. Because we were thinking about what you wanted to do at the time.
More of computer science. instead of actual video games, because I lost my passion for it because of life happened. But now I've realized that, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
And at the time we were thinking about Chicago, but then we started looking into more of Chicago and realized how expensive Chicago was. Yep. And then we were like, well, what was the point of moving from Washington, if we're going to move somewhere expensive again. And so then I think I said something to you about Orlando, and you kind of like looked at me like you hadn't even thought about it before, and you were just like, okay. And then so we just started talking and like, okay, well,
our options, pros and cons,
this and this and that, and then we started looking up more stuff about living here, and we just kind of fell in love with it. And so we decided to move here, and we made the final decision, and we ended up telling all of our family and friends. And then we started saving up for our move. So our first move, we didn't really know that much. We did a truck.
The big trucks, and at that point we had a little car, so we did the trailer, which was very stressful. Yeah, that sucked.
And then not only that, but our apartment wasn't even ready. When we got
that was a whole thing.
That was a whole situation. Yeah. So then we had to have our car in a trailer parked at the hotel, and then we couldn't even do exploring either, even though we had this time because our apartment wasn't ready. But
because we had the car.
Had the car on the trailer attached to the truck, so we couldn't even really explore.
Yep.
And so then the second move we decided to do. So we had heard of things called pods, but then we looked at it and how expensive they were, and we were like, I don't know if we can afford this.
Should we just do another truck? But then we found
that U-Haul does the same thing, but they're called U-boxes.
Now, they are a little bit smaller than pods, but it's easier, it's cheaper, it's all through U-Haul, so you get like the customer service that they provide, you get tracking, you get movers,
you put the locks on yourself.
Yeah, you can put the lock on yourself, so no one can access it.
You buy the lock, you put it on yourself. They
have you take a picture of like the barcode for tracking. It was so much easier.
We also had movers through U-Haul who helped us move, because the first time we moved,
it was just us.
It was just us, 3 stories, and we had to do it in 4 hours because I had to work the next morning at 4 a.m. and then we had to return the truck. We were utterly exhausted, so I was like, we're not doing that again. So we got movers, and so we did that again the third time to move here.
Yeah,
but this time instead
to the U-boxes, and then the U-boxes to now here.
But instead, this time we also did the U-boxes, like literally right before we left, and then by the time we got there,
there was still like a couple days without our stuff.
It was about 10 days before our stuff got there.
Was it that long?
Yeah, in Phoenix.
I thought it was like barely a week.
Dang. And so then this time we decided to do it before, like a week and a half before, and then that way once we got to Orlando, our stuff would be here. And then we did a trailer, so we only did 2 U-boxes, and then we did a trailer attached to our CRV.
Well, because we also knew we needed a new car.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Our older car would not have made it. We
had a lot of problems with that car. And so we
knew we wanted to get one, and I thought about it like, hey, we got this new car. What about hauling a trailer instead of doing an extra U-box for all of our stuff? And then so we, hooked it all up, and we hauled the trailer, which had a couple of things in it.
It had a lot of like stuff that we were gonna need like that night. Like it had a lot of our kitchen stuff
and the air mattress and
stuff for the dogs.
Yeah.
And so
I think our TV, because we had the big TV in the U-box.
Mm-hmm. And then the next day, the U-boxes came in, and we were able to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now the move itself. So we went through so from Phoenix, Arizona, we took the 10 all the way down. We went through New Mexico, then through Texas, stopped at.
It was
El
Paso, Texas, and then Houston, Texas, which
was like what 12 hours.
Yeah, so it was from El Paso to Houston was 10 and a half. But all the way, if we drove all the way through Texas nonstop, it would have taken us 14 hours.
So we stopped twice in Texas.
That was it. Yeah. Just in Texas.
And then after that, after Houston, we went the next morning, we went through Louisiana, which Alabama. Was, we actually had just barely missed a hurricane that came through. I don't remember which hurricane it was, but if you look it up, it was in October of last year, so October of 2020. And we had just missed the hurricane. Mm-hmm. Our parents were actually concerned that we were going to be going through it, but then my dad looked it up and reassured me that it looked like we were just gonna miss it. Mm-hmm. Then after Louisiana, we went through
Alabama, and then the Panhandle.
Well,
Florida.
also, didn't we go through Georgia? Not Georgia.
No, it was Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, it's Louisiana, Alabama, then Florida.
Yeah, I thought there was another state between that.
Is it Georgia?
I feel like there was. I can't remember.
I'm not really good at geography, so.
Anyway, so then we drove through, and then we got to
Tallahassee, Florida.
Well, it wasn't Tallahassee. It was like right before Tallahassee. I forget what.
It's just easier to say Tallahassee.
Yeah, it was like a small
pretty much
town.
where it is.
And then we stayed there, and we did that for a whole night
and day because our apartment here wasn't going to be
ready,
and we kind of messed up on the dates, which was actually kind of beneficial for us
because then we just had like a whole day to
rest and recuperate from all the driving, and we could have the dogs be in a place for at least a little bit of time. But then we went from Tallahassee down to Orlando, which was the shortest of the drives.
Yeah, it was. It was about like
4.5, 5 hours, I think.
I think it was about 5 or 6 hours.
Or was it that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was the shortest drive, I think. And then we got here, unpacked the trailer, got everything in, and returned the trailer. And then the next day,
our couch, the big TV, the
everything came
bookcase, everything.
And the U-boxes.
And we had movers for that too. It was because again it's through U-Haul. They are contracted through U-Haul. Like they're their own separate business, but they have contracts through U-Haul, and you can look up reviews.
And it was only like the first time we did it was $300.
But that was in
Washington.
Yeah. Here it was. I think it was $5. I think it was like $250 for both. Or I think it was like a little over, like $270 or I can't remember the numbers.
And then we had just bought a lot of new furniture from Ikea, so he put everything together while I unpacked. We had just bought a new TV stand from Ikea, a new dresser from Ikea,
the bookcase,
and then we got a new dining room table, but that wasn't from Ikea; it was from Home.
A store down in Phoenix.
No, I think they have it here too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, and I think they have some in Las Vegas. But so we had new furniture that we knew we wanted to do here. And then after we got here, we did have a little bit of struggling getting stable jobs. So that wasn't the greatest at first.
But we now have one that it's good paying, good hours, good benefits, So we have, health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance.
And we also, before we moved here, we didn't realize how much green there was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was unbelievably shocked because I love green in nature.
Which is the appeal from Washington.
Yes. And that was something that I absolutely loved about Washington and Oregon and how beautiful it was. Because, Las Vegas and Phoenix, it's more desert, so it's not as much green there.
Yep.
And so we've done a lot of parks. We've gone to a lot of parks, a lot of trails we've done.
Not theme parks, like playground
parks. And I love living here. And I didn't realize also how much body of waters there are. There's so many little lakes and ponds
and not really rivers, like lakes and ponds.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't realize that we were going to be so close to the ocean that there's literally an ocean, a beach, like an hour away in each direction. And Clearwater is only 2 hours away from us.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up in Las Vegas, we were 5 hours from California to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the closest beach that you could get to is 5 hours away. So it was always like a weekend trip or like a whole day trip or something like that.
If you had to do a day trip, you would have to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and then get back home at like 11 o'clock at night.
So I absolutely love the beach. And that was something else too when we were first deciding where we wanted to move. I also do love the snow, and I was wondering if I wanted to live somewhere close to the snow, and that was why we thought about Chicago as well. And also, the fall there is so beautiful, and I do love that as well. But then once we were starting to plan our move here, I was like, well, I also love beaches, so that works out really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you love going in the water.
Yeah.
And I just love relaxing on the beach, and I'll go in the water, but not as deep as he will. But I absolutely love it.
Also moving here, we knew that there was a lot of activities to do, a lot of museums to go to, and obviously the theme parks. And so we knew we were excited to do that because we never lived anywhere that had like options to do stuff, and so I think that was also the big appeal as well.
Yeah, for us to do
and explore,
go on adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had maybe mentioned it to each other about starting this channel. But it was kind of up in the air. And once we moved here, we talked about it more and then realized, yeah, maybe we should do that. And it was something that we really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're here. There was a few other reasons why we wanted to move here, but then that kind of changed. Before we decided to move here, you had changed your view on video game programming and all that stuff, and that was and that happens with everyone. You go to school for something and then you change your mind.
Yep.
And and that's just how life goes sometimes. And so yeah, but I mean, we still love living here. We've had, this year has had struggles.
Many struggles, but then also a lot of, another word for ups.
Yeah.
Like ups and downs. A lot of downs, but then also a lot of ups.
A lot of ups that have been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Like, the ups have been just so much fun. And I'm actually glad that we've been able to take you on a lot of our ups. And I appreciate you guys, just coming with us and joining us with all the ups. If I'm expressing how happy I am, it's genuine because it's very true.
Whether we're at Disney Springs or a theme park or the beach, it's all new and adventure and
yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think also another the dogs have also liked being here because the green, there's not dirt, it's grass,
more areas to walk around in.
And then she likes chasing the squirrels.
Taking them to parks.
And then we also took them to the dog beach and had them play around in the ocean, which they're land dogs, obviously.
We did have to experience fleas here because that's something that wasn't in the desert was fleas.
Because it's too dry.
But we got them.
We do have a good handle on it, I think.
Yeah, now we.
We were going
because they had fleas in Washington as well. That was the first time we experienced it. We didn't know anything about it.
But then since we moved back down to the desert, shortly right thereafter, they just died.
Yeah, the fleas. So, but then when we came down here, but we got them on flea medication that we get from Costco. And it's like every month? Yeah, it's an everyday, every 30 days. And then, but you get how many months?
Technically 8, but because
we have two dogs,
you cut it in half for 4.
And we get that at Costco because it's a really good
price for the
at
brand
Costco than Amazon was wanting.
Yeah, we were going through different little ones, cheap ones, because again that goes into the downs. We just hadn't had the capability of getting anything else, but now we're actually able to get the ones at Costco, and so that way they're protected.
But yeah,
oh, and then another thing too, just for kind of me, the tolls and driving, that's also something different as well.
Yeah, because we didn't...
It was all just regular freeway.
Yeah, not even
highway
in
toll.
Washington.
No, there was nothing like that. Here, we've learned that, tolls are actually worth it to get there, faster, quicker.
Way worth it.
Just easier instead of going down, the side streets. But I think overall.
Yeah. So overall, I can't believe it's been a year, and I'm so happy.
It honestly just flew by.
It really did.
Like we actually got the 60-day notice to renew our lease or to move out.
And we were just like, what?
It's already that time?
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, but we can't wait for more adventures and for you to join us. And we're looking forward to
exploring more things, new things.
Well, we are looking forward to a few things next year that we have planned out that we're going to be saving for. So can't wait to take you on those adventures because we're really excited about that. And also the end of this year, especially with Christmas coming.
Yep. Yeah, we already have all types of plans.
Yeah, we're already talking about Christmas plans, and we're really excited. So we want to thank all of you that have joined us from video 1 and any new people that are coming with us. And thank you so much, and it means everything to us. And yeah, we love our home, and we can't wait for the future.
Okay, let's go ahead and make it legend. Wait for it.